Well, Tracy said something that really made my hair stand up. And like I said, I ain't got no hair on the back of my head about we owning black or white people. You know what I'm saying? How should we own these white people when we're giving them our dollars and raising the money and putting them in office? How should we own these people, Tracy?
Well, we need to pick a head. Like with the Spanish communities, they've all picked a head. With the Jewish community, the biggest misconception, and I always like to point this out, especially in New York, you can really see it, is that all Jewish people are rich. Mm-hmm. Okay? You come to New York, Jewish people got their own set of little projects going on up in here. But they form communities where they raise dollars and put people in place to speak for them, that even if they are impoverished, guess what? They still have a head that speaks for them. Their dollar is still working for them. And we don't have that. We have people that say they are for us, but they're really not. They're implants. Yeah. That's what I call them. They're implants. They're not really doing stuff for the community. They're just pacifying us so that the white man feels comfortable. They're making sure that we stay at bay. They're making sure that we stay calm. No one's out there really out there saying, here, this is what we've raised money for you. This is what we're going to do. This is what, the celebrities do it, but they do it with their angle. They do it where it benefits them. When they get locked up, maybe their drug problem gets swept under the bridge.
What I would say to that, Tracy, is that, Jewish people, you don't know they're Jewish until they tell you.
Exactly.
And so black people, we walk in the room, we black, or we some person of color. And so we can never assimilate in a manner of the advantageous way of being a majority. And also, we were brought over here against our will. And so when we were given our freedom, Jim Crow's laws imprisoned us again. Right. So black people, every time we get a chance to uplift ourselves, then racism takes over, like they tried to do here with voter suppression. And so I agree with you in a lot of ways, but I always have to say, white people, especially when they start saying Jewish and Italian, well, I don't know you're Italian, Jewish, German, or Irish until you tell me. Mm-hmm. You're just a white person. And you have the advantages of a white person until you tell me differently.
But that's a problem within ourselves.
In New York.
Rashawn, ain't that a problem between ourselves though? We can't talk about the white man, the Jewish man. We got to come together ourselves. We keep on talking.
Well, I just feel like just what just happened, especially here in the state of Georgia, that we really did come together, and I felt very, very empowered just by seeing everybody come together and try to make a change from what we were seeing in the political space. Like, I feel very empowered, like as a group. As far as African-American people of color coming together to make a change. So I do see some difference.
That's cool. But what we going to get now? So what we going to get now? Since we
again, going back to what Tracy said and what Rashida said, making sure that we're holding the people that we have elected or put into office truly accountable for the things that they said they're going to do. Like, we can't just, we won sipping back, you drinking our beer and our wine. No, we got to hold them accountable.
Well, do we know what we want? Do we know we want Rashida? Do we know we want Rashawn? Do we know?
I would tell you this. I've been in the White House several times. It's a great place to visit, but just because you win, in Biden's case, because you now have 50-50 in the Senate and Mitch McConnell's not the head anymore, then Biden can accomplish some of the tasks. And so what happens is, like in Obama's case, people hold him like he's an ultimate decision maker. He still has to have people in Congress that approve things, just like the guy who just elected as Attorney General. He was turned down by Mitch McConnell to be a Supreme Court justice. So it's all about positioning and timing. Joe Biden may accomplish more for Black people or people impoverished in history because he now has control of the Congress and he now has control of the Senate because of Kamala Harris. Now you may see some of the things that you're saying, Tracy, you can't hold him accountable because he has no excuses. He can't say, well, I got to deal with Mitch McConnell. No, you don't.
Yep.
No, you don't.
Rashida, go ahead, please. Yes.
Well, there's 5 things, right? So you
go ahead.
Got some things there. So there's 5 things to hold elected officials accountable, right? So it's following your representatives' voting patterns. That's 1. Okay. 2 is really to know how to contact your legislators. That's 2. 3, of course, attend the community events. Speak up. See what they're talking about. And of course, organize. The rallies and the marches, I'm not going to say put their foot on the neck on that one, but if it works, it works. If it don't, you got to go another route, right? Protest, whatever. Then the fifth thing, of course, using the social media and highlight the impact of like of a policy or any shortcomings of the representative. Those are the 5 things.
Mhm.
But if the party is not empowered to make those 5 things happen, then it's not going to happen. And a lot of people don't understand that because they don't understand politics. They don't understand how a House works, whether at the state level or in Congress and Senate works. Joe Biden, because of the fact that we had 2 Democrats win in Atlanta over on Tuesday, will enable him to say $2,000, you'll get that. When we know just last week, Mitch McConnell was joking around and tying that to getting rid of IT companies and putting Confederacy statues on as a freedom. So now Joe Biden can say, just like he said on Monday, if we win, you'll get that $2,000 check. We can hold him accountable, Tracy, because he has the ability to do that.
Right. That's right.
Right.
We can.
Right.
And people don't understand that. That's why we have to vote.
Yes.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
We have to vote.
I mean, and we can see, and I know we're referring to the state of Georgia because it's been worldwide news, but we can see how every vote truly counted. I mean, you know, I saw probably won by a matter of 17,000 votes. I'm not sure of the number.
24,000 votes.
24,000 votes. Think about that. Think about that. Like literally think about that. That really mattered. Like 24,000 extra people in the state of Georgia out of 4 million voted for Ossoff as opposed to David Perdue. And it made a complete difference. So,
and the importance of that right there, Miss Ali, is the fact that it was over 5% that he won.
Mm-hmm.
Now David Perdue can't do a recall.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
Right.
he won by more than 5%.
Can I say it's all you beautiful black people? Can I say it's all sounds good? This show was supposed to be about business and building the black community. Right? You know, it just sounds good. But they won. We know that. But what do we want? And what do we need to do? And you know what I'm saying? So
we need more funding. We need more funding. That's
what Tracy, to do what? Because everything starts from the root and then it starts growing.
I'm gonna show you a great example. We own property on a predominant block that is being gentrified. And they are building buildings on this block. They're actually buying out homes. And this is my childhood home that my mom has given to me. And they're waiting outside for me. Like, hey, we heard you're the owner of the house and you only come here on this day and that day. Waiting outside. If I went to the bank right now with good credit, money, everything, I still could not get the funding that they could get. It's built in the system like that for us not to get this type of funding.
So we need funding,
not to be able to crush the property and rebuild myself. They will give the funding to someone else before they give it to me. And that's the reality. We need them to change the restrictions in these banks. We need more funding.
Hold up, y'all. Hold up. That's beautiful. That's one. All right. We need funding. Rashawn, what do we need? What's 2?
Rashawn McDonald.
Rashawn McDonald, what do we need?
Let me slow everybody down. First of all, we just came out of a pandemic. We just came out of a situation where for the last quarter, people delayed their rent payment, and that payment is due in January. Okay. They also delayed their payroll taxes, and that's due in April. So that's why it's important right now to understand that $2,000 check that Biden is waiting on and saying is going to happen has to happen. And also that $600 that they're getting over that period, which is going to be $5,500, will get us out of the hole on top of that $2,000 check. So let's get to that part first. We got to get out of the hole. Because before you can start talking about
Rashawn, $2,000. I'm getting no black man out no hole. You know what I'm saying? So that's a
rabbit hole. The hole that you're in right now. If you're talking about trying to create structure within a neighborhood, you're not going to move Fortune 500 companies into a black neighborhood.
But but hold on, Rashawn. We asking what we want though. We asking what we want though, player. And at the end of the day, that $2,500, $2,600 is pacifying somebody. That's not going to do nothing for a person, period. At all. So we have to sit there and say,
let me ask you this. Okay, Mr. Smart Man. Okay, what can you do immediately? What you can do immediately to get me out of the hole? What can you do?
Give you some money. Give you some money, but I'm not gonna give you no $2,600. You know what I'm saying? I got to get you some money to get you out the hole.
But y'all, we can't we are on a different level. Let me not say that. There's somebody that is really waiting on $2,000. It may not be us.
Yeah.
It may not be us. We cannot forget about the people who do not have as much as we have. We
Yeah.
cannot
I
forget about
definitely
those
agree
people.
with you with that. I definitely think this money that we're getting, it needs to happen, but we gotta start creating other ways of making
Yes,
income
group
too.
absolutely.
Construction has not shut down.
And I'm not
The
disagreeing
stock
with
market has not
anybody.
shut down. Are we
Nope.
even teaching our people that's getting the money for them to start playing the stock market?
Thank you.
Truck drivers
Exactly.
are still driving. They sending packages up and down the highway. Guess what? Do you know how hard it is for a Black person to get their truck driving license?
Mhm.
And there are programs in place that you can get truck driving school paid for, but still they go above and beyond because the states that really teach the truck driving schools are racist states, and they make it hard if a Black person. I had a friend that just went through that, and they kicked her out of school because she was programmed. She was on a program, and it actually didn't benefit them for her to be there. And
Wow.
now she's actually fighting it so that she could get her license. And she's a Black woman because they felt like since they had to pay for her stay, since that the government was paying only a portion, and this is the program that they set up for tax reasons, because that's the only reason they take programs, is for tax reasons. They then kick her out while there's another girl there that's not even passing her test or anything and leave her there. So I'm saying that the system is not really set up. Even when we try new avenues, we need to create our own. Is there a Black truck driving school? No,
Yes.
because we need funding.
That's
We need
right.
it.
But you know, it's group economics. This is what we have to do. It's group economics. We have to pull together. That's the first thing. Go to your neighbor, call your cousin, call your uncle. Listen, how's your, you know what I mean? We have to pull together. Everybody has money.
First of all, y'all ask
Equity.
what the government can do from you, Rashid. I'm just like, that's talking about pulling together a neighborhood. The question that he
No, a
asked me
nation.
is
I'm
what
gonna
was
talk
the
about
government
about a
to
nation,
do?
Rashawn
I'm just telling
McDaniel.
you immediately. I'm answering some questions on the show. Tracy's trying to hold people accountable. I said, the way you can hold Biden accountable is to make sure he said what he said on Monday. If you put me in office, I'll get you a $2,000 check.
I agree with that. That point I agree
cool.
with.
Okay, cool. That $2,000 check done to you might not sound like much. Will be able to get people to work and get that rent off their back and keep that clothes over their
That's
head.
cool.
During the
But that's
winter
cool,
months.
Rashawn McDaniel. That's cool giving somebody something to hold them over. But I'm talking about the big picture. You know what I mean? I don't like we've been pacifying our Black people too long. And they've been accepting crumbs. We have to stop accepting crumbs. When we put these people in office, we're talking about how to hold them accountable to give our community some so we can grow as a people, Rashawn McDaniel. That's all I'm saying.
It's McDonald. It's McDonald.
But
But I think, go ahead.
I'm
Go ahead,
gonna
Rashawn.
shock everybody. I'm gonna shock everybody. Under the Trump administration, Black people unemployment was at the lowest in the history of our lives. Under Trump now, it's at 5%. Okay.
I'm gonna give you a better point. I get that, but a lot of that stuff was a residual impact of the Obama administration.
Administration.
I do not like when people. It's like when Clinton got into office. Clinton didn't do nothing for us. It was a residual of the administration beforehand.
Go to break. I got to Rashawn Ali. This is getting heated.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Wait a minute. I like that accent. I want to bring the accent out of her.
Hold on, Rashawn McDaniel. This is getting heated. I love it.
He is McDonald.
Hold up, I gotta go to a break. We're gonna be right back on Chopping Up with Mike and Donny. Is getting heated. This is what I love to do. We'll be right back, y'all.
My tie crooked.
Welcome back to Chopping It Up with Mike and Donny. I'm Rashawn Ali filling in for Mike Hill. We're happy to have Rashawn McDonald, Rashida Wallace, and Tracy Ballin join us for a very spirited conversation. And I know that we'd like to get more clarification as to what Rashawn McDonald was alluding to prior to the break. Donny, go right ahead.
He was because Rashawn McDonald, you was talking a bunch of bullshit that I didn't agree with, you know what I mean? And then my partner hopped in, Mike Hill came in on the break, you know what I mean? That you told him to save me. No, I'm gonna save you I want him to save you for me. Let's get back to what you was talking about, because we tired of giving our people crumbs. And I want to hear what can we do to uplift our people, and what do we need from these people that we're getting elected and putting them in office? Rashawn McDaniel.
Education changed my life. It's changed my life, because of the fact that one thing we got out of 2020 is that the recognition of HBCUs. Suddenly, white people discovered HBCUs, endowments. A $30 million endowment was made to Prairie View A&M. The annual endowment for Brown University is 40 billion. That just shows you the educational discrepancy, because what HBCUs don't get is the credit that 80% of the Congress people who are Black are from HBCUs, 80% of the doctors, 80% of the nurses, 80% of the high school teachers, 23% of the STEM. So it goes back to education. Education changed my life. We have to give us an opportunity to educate ourselves, and the pursuit of education will make a difference in our community as it makes in all the other communities that are successful.
That's all I was asking, Rashawn.
Right. And it's
Agree with you, but what about outside of that regular structure?
in
Yeah,
terms
but
of, in terms of what,
Not
Tracy?
everyone is built to go to college. What about
Right, but there's
outside of that?
also
We
you
have
can still
to
be
fund other
educated.
type of
But then,
educational
but,
structure.
then the Republicans call that socialism, which angers me, because when they bring that up, nobody on the Democratic side strikes that down. They just let it ride. What made me mad the most during the Warren Act and the Ossoff run in Atlanta was the fact that they would say the word radical, they would say the word leftist, they would say socialist, and I'm going like, what the hell are they talking about? What are they talking about? What is a socialist? You mean Obama healthcare, where everybody can have healthcare? That's socialism?
I understand what a socialist is, Rashawn McDaniel. A socialist is that when I'm making $100,000 and somebody else, and then the government takes 50% of my money to make us even, you know what I mean? Because I'm making too much money, they want to take most of my money, you know what I mean? That's, to me, is a socialist. If I'm making 100,000 and then you say you want 50% of it, if I'm working hard for my money, you get what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to give you 50% of my money.
Well, if you're making that kind of money, this is what I've done. I know how to spend my money into different programs, so I don't have to pay the taxes that you're talking about. And so I want people who don't have what I have to come up. So I want you to take taxes from me. That's why you hear people like Buffett and the real rich people, they go, tax me.
But that's you,
because they know how to prevent you from taxing them.
But that's you, Rashawn McDowell. You kept on talking about, the $2,600 what these people needed. But when you taking that much money from us, it trickles down to the little man. You get what I'm saying?
You're not a little man, though. You're not a little man.
I'm not talking about the little man. I care about the little man, Rashawn McDaniel. I care about the little man.
Not really, because you're crying about losing 50% of your money when you losing nothing damn money.
Listen, man.
You should be a corporation.
I am a corporation. Forget me.
Well, you're not losing 50% of your money then. You lying.
Bigger than that. Who taught you that?
Come on,
Who taught you that, Rashawn? Who taught you that?
Through education, through the fact that I'm an entrepreneur, through the fact that I'm a business person. That's why I create these platforms where people can come and get free literacy, financial literacy, entrepreneur literacy. I created those platforms for free so I can give that education. That's my give back.
But guess what? A lot of people don't know that. I'm self-published. I just had friends tell me recently. A lot of people don't know that.
I'm talking about what I was about to get into, Rashawn McDaniel, is having trade schools to teach these people how to do the things that we're doing. You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, Rashawn McDaniel.
You say
McDonald.
That you get 50% of your money and you have a corporation. That's a bold-faced lie.
No. Hold up, player. Hold up. You asked me what I think socialism is. And socialism is if I'm making a bunch of money and the government
I apologize.
Okay, apology accepted.
All right.
Move on then.
Okay, good. We got some comments, and I'd like to read that from GH. He says, we need to create a culture of wealth creation in our communities, i.e. pooling money together to create a family bank that will be used to purchase asset and income streams. Also from GH, we need to use our wealth to create political PACs and lobbyists to act on our behalf. That's true. That is fantastic. And then Deborah, in that same light, Deborah Will said crowdfunding is the only way. So people are talking about coming together and pooling our resources. Tracy, I want to bring you back into the conversation. What do you think about what a couple of our viewers have said in that regard?
I agree with them totally. I agree with them 100%. I definitely think that we need more classes on literacy. We need to understand what the stock market is about. We need to understand what stocks to buy in. Right now, we already know that currency is changing. Our people need to be looking at the market. XRP is a good one, even though that they are right now in litigation. When that's done, it's going to pop. Our people need to be talking about that. And there are groups that are educating us and women, and everybody is the same, but we got to be smart enough to use these phones, these social media accounts, and really pay attention. But I'm gonna be real, we have our own snakes in our grass in our community too.
Mm-hmm.
Our own people that are using the information that they've built, the knowledge that they know, and they're selling misinformation to our own people. And I want to be real about that, because there are groups, and I just seen it the other night on Clubhouse, where they're attacking people that are giving good information for free because they're selling misinformation at top dollar to their own people.
Wow.
So
Come
I
on.
want to be fair on both parts, that we are too self-sabotaging.
Right.
Mm.
Rashida,
It's true.
Rashida, what do you
That's
think?
a fact. No, I totally agree with Miss Tracy. I
Yes.
totally agree. And yeah, and I really think that, yeah, we need to really, and even in education, they don't teach you, we're not taught about, owning. First of all, we're corporations ourselves when we're born. We have a social security number. We have a docket number. We're United States a corporation, okay? We're under that. So my thing is, we're already a business. We should be taught that in the beginning, like first, in junior high. First of all, you know what I mean, about learning how to, own businesses, and about money, about stocks, you know what I mean? But crypto, yes, digital currency. I was talking about this last year with RZA and a few other people, and Brandon T. Jackson, like, changes in, I knew it was going to change anyway. The currency, there's nothing backing the US dollar anyway. So yes, get into crypto. It's like 17 million types of cryptocurrency right now. I think we can go up to what, 21 million? That I do know.
I don't buy nobody get no
money
crypto.
now.
I don't buy nobody get no cryptocurrency.
I'm not doing that.
Why not?
Because
guess what?
listen, I'm old
I'm
school.
still trying to get the stock market down pat. That's very good to me.
Yeah.
Now, but here's my whole thought about, when we're talking about money, the average person is tied to a 40-hour week job.
Mhm.
We told that, and that's where you can't come up. We can't, because we don't have the multiple income fixture in our mind. That's how everybody on this call works. We have multiple levels of income. I, for some reason, when I was 18, realized I could work several jobs. If I had 24 hours in the day, I learned to use each hour. It's a work ethic that we have to understand, that the 40-hour week is going to keep you at the 40-hour week lifestyle. And so if that 40-hour week changes anyway, which is going to be negative, then you're totally out of whack. Right. And so it's about education. I go back to that. If you go back to what happened in Atlanta, Stacey Abrams, HBCU. Keisha Lance Bottoms, HBCU.
FAMU, baby, FAMU.
Important. They've changed the game. And guess what? They're holding people accountable. It was like when Kim tried to come down on Keisha Lance Bottoms and sue her, guess what? She kicked it back up to him and said, you can't sue me. So it's about education. And education ties to the fact that it enables you to do something. I'll tell you guys this. When I voted in this last runoff, early voting, and I walked in and I pressed that ballot, for some reason, I was empowered.
Yes.
Because I don't know if anybody can understand that feeling
I
of
did.
voting and realizing that I felt for the first time in my life, my vote counted. It was really because I knew I had people out there fighting and protecting my vote for the first time in my life. And that's what white people have all the time. They know their vote counts. And I think that this time around, Black people will get that same feeling, because Stacey Abrams has inspired this country to show that we can change and make a difference.
Absolutely.
In Georgia.
Absolutely. And
you got two people elected, not just one. She got a white dude, Jewish, and a Black dude who was a preacher.
Absolutely. And, when she made her run for the gubernatorial seat, I just feel like God, universe, source energy, whatever you subscribe to, said, no, not this, because I need you to fight for this. Had she been a governor, this change that we have seen in this state would not have happened, because she led this change. And I think this is a perfect transition for us to talk about what happened today. Shortly after 1 p.m., hundreds of pro-Trump protesters, rioters, terrorists, let's call it what it is, terrorists, thousands, pushed through barriers to set up along the perimeter of the Capitol, where they tussled with officers. This is straight from CNN, in full riot gear, some calling the officers traitors for doing their jobs. After an hour and a half, police said demonstrators got into the building and the doors to the House and Senate were being locked, and lots of those senators were forced to shelter in place. One woman was shot and killed, but everybody lived.
But
And,
yes,
She was a
and
Trump
that shows us.
White
protester that was
privilege.
shot by the police. The woman who got shot.
shot by the police. Right.
Well,
So
she
go
got
ahead,
shot by the
Donnie.
police, Rashawn McDaniel. She got shot by the police, but if that was black people, when they put all those,
They got sprayed. They got sprayed by the police.
yeah, they got
Right.
sprayed. But that wouldn't even happen. The black people, the Black Lives Matter, couldn't even got on
Thank you.
that
Oh.
that
Or
podium,
the NFAC.
you know what I
Right.
mean, at all.
Exactly.
Because they had it whereas that the National Guard was already up there. So it shows you it's two different rules for two different type of people, the white man and the black man, because at the end of the day, that was straight anarchy. You know what I mean? And if it was
Treason.
me, I would have beat them with bats and poles and
Yeah.
sprayed tear gas on them, because that's what
Right.
they would have done to us. And it was
Yeah.
totally mayhem, and it's ridiculous because that Trump is an idiot. You know what I mean? We got to get back. We got to get in this. We're going to get heavy in this. I want to take a break because
Okay.
that really pissed me off. You know what I mean? So.